Something that I've leaned really heavily on that I think other closers, business owners, CEOs would almost frown upon, but they can't say anything to me because every team I've been on, I've been the best closer by a long shot. So what are they going to do? Tell me to stop doing what's working the best? If you do a really good discovery, you just do a good sales call. I don't feel the need to ream someone through the door at the end of that call. Like if they need to chat with a spouse or they really genuinely need a follow up, yeah, I'll hang in the buying pocket and I'll handle the objections and I'll get creative to get them going today. But at some point, you just push too much and it just turns them off. And I think that me having the confidence to be like, okay, so you just need to do X, Y, and Z, right? Cool. When can you get those done? When can you chat with your spouse and get the new credit card in the mail? Got it. So today's Monday. You can get that done by Thursday. What time works for you on Friday? And we'll circle back. And like, I think for a prospect, for me to have the confidence to let them go and just to book the follow-up call, my show up rate on follow-up calls is extremely high. And my buy rate on follow-up calls is damn near 100%. I've had like 2 people get on the call and be like, yeah, I don't want to work with you guys. And I appreciate them getting on the call. And then I can ask why. And then I can take that feedback and make things better in the future. But that confidence to let somebody go, I of course fan bam from a meeting, book a meeting. I always book the follow-up call. Like I hang in the buying pocket intuitively as long as I need to, until I know that if I stay in this buying pocket another minute, I'm going to lose the sale altogether. So it's that intuition where you're reading their body language, you're listening to their tonality. Are they sitting back? Are their arms like this? Are they here with you? Like you want to hang as long as you can. But if there's so many objections on the table, it might make more sense to handle the ones you can handle and then schedule a follow-up for the ones that might need to marinate a little bit longer. Now, I'm a big fan of a one-call close. Yeah, shit, I'd love to one-call close everybody. Like that's fantastic. Love that. But I've also closed millions of dollars in sales on follow-up calls. Now, I don't book follow-ups for weeks in advance, weeks later. It's literally like 48 hours later. Sometimes it's the same day. Hey, what time does your wife get home? Cool, at 6. Is this like an over the dinner conversation you're going to have with her? Great. You want to follow up at 7:30? Like I'll do a same day follow-up if I have to, but it's the mindset of like, I have done a good enough job on this call where this person would be an idiot not to hire me. And they're feeling that. They're like, I need this program. I need this guy. And then ramming them through the door or trying to is just going to be like, I need this guy, but I don't want this guy. It's too high pressure. It's too this, it's too that. And it feels weird. Like, Aaron, we were talking about like people buy when you align their head and their heart. Like that's when people buy. And so their head might be saying, I need Johnny, I need Lee, I need Danielle, like I need this human. That's what their head is telling them. Like, I need help, I need a job. Like, I want to produce music, I want to write this book, I want to get promoted. Like their head is telling them that, but their heart just feels kind of off and they can't really explain it. But they're just like not feeling 100% like this is what I need to do. And then they're like, hey, like I need a couple days to review this. So like your head is very logical, and that's easy to get people on board with logic, right? You're going to pay me this, I'm going to help you get a job. You're going to pay me this, I'll help you write this book. Like it's very logical. But the missing piece for most salespeople is aligning that emotional piece where their heart is like all in alignment with their head. So how can we build that emotion? How can we get people emotionally invested? And I hate to say it, but it all comes back to discovery. We ask really good questions and we get them to say, I can't live like this anymore. Like I've wanted to write this book for so damn long. How long? 5 years. Got it. So let me ask you this. In the past 5 years, how much have you done? Well, I wrote 2 chapters. Got it. Are you feeling confident about those 2 chapters? Are you fired up that after 5 years you have 2 chapters? Or like, how do those 2 chapters after 5 years really make you feel? And they're going to be like, no, not good. When you say not good, like, what do you mean by that? Well, I want to write the book and I want to serve these people and I have all this knowledge and I want to help this community of people. And so we're digging in and like by just asking good questions, and they're selling themselves that I don't feel good that I haven't written the book. And then when we make the pitch, now they're like, logically, they're like, yeah, this guy can help me write the book. But emotionally, they're getting bought in of like, wow, it would feel really freaking good to finally close this chapter, no pun intended, close this chapter in my life and finally get this book written, get this book published, and get this book out there. Like I had a call one time with a guy and he was on the verge of bankruptcy. And he got on the call. He told me the first thing he got on the call is he said, Austin, I am the Lance Armstrong of language. So that was his opening statement. I couldn't even say hello yet. And he's so confident that he can teach people. He teaches English speakers how to speak French. And he was so confident. He's like, he's calling himself the Lance Armstrong of language. I've never heard anything like it. And so I know this guy is committed and I know this guy's good at what he does, but he basically told me I've had this business like 8 or 10 years or whatever it was. I'm like, cool. In the past 8 years, like what's the most amount of money you've ever made from this program? It's like pennies, like tens of thousands of dollars a year, like as a full-time. And I'm like, is this what you do full-time? Yeah. Got it. How are you paying the bills if you're only making 20, 30 grand a year on your best year ever? How do you pay the bills? It's like, I'm barely struggling. My savings are running out. Like I'm on the verge of bankruptcy, blah, blah, blah. So I go and I pitch this guy a $9,800 program when he just told me he's on the verge of bankruptcy. And I looked at him and I said, look, Alex, with this investment, I can see it in your eyes. You're terrified. I get it. I would be too. But with this investment, you cannot lose. Because if you pay us and it works, we show you how to make hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars over the next 8 years. The past 8 years have sucked, right? But over the next 8 years, we can show you how to make hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. That's the best case. And the second best case is you pay us $9,800, you swipe your credit card, and it doesn't work. But at least you can close this chapter. Because what you have right now is not a business, it's a hobby, and you've been struggling along for damn near a decade. So if you pay us the 10 grand and it doesn't work, at least you can close this chapter and you can move on from this business and you can say you gave it your honest effort. And you'll probably have to file for bankruptcy, but you were going to do that anyway in the next couple months. So either way, you win. And so like I'm aligning his heart to realize like the past 8 years have sucked. The next 8 years could be better. But either way, with this investment of 10 grand, I can't lose. I either get to shut down the shitty business that's draining all my time that hasn't worked in 8 years. And I told him, I'm like, look, if we can't make it work, ain't nobody going to make it work. So this is your best shot. Last hurrah, and let's do this. And he made hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, every year since then, which was 4 years ago. Like he's probably made $600K from that investment. But even if it didn't work, and even if you filed bankruptcy, I wouldn't feel bad. I'm feeling great. I'm like, thank God, close down your business. It sucks. You're not making it work for whatever reason. It's been a decade. You've spent money on it, time, thousands of hours. It ain't working. Go back to corporate, start a new business, do something else. It's like on Shark Tank. Mr. Wonderful's like, take it behind the barn, shoot it. It's not working. This is a hobby. You've been dragging it along for way too long. Right. And so what I'm doing there psychologically and emotionally is I'm aligning his head and his heart, where his head's like, yeah, I want to make money. Yes, I want the business to work. But then I'm aligning his heart and his emotions by just laying out his only 2 options. Pay us the money, it works, you make a lot of money. Pay us the money, it doesn't work, you'll probably file for bankruptcy. You were going to do that anyway. Right. And then I literally have the Facebook messages where he's like, yes, I was on the verge of bankruptcy and I had a risk to take. I was either going to accelerate my fall if the 10 grand didn't work out with you guys, or it was going to change my life. He messaged me that like a year later after he made a bunch of money, but he still remembered how I made him feel in that conversation, because people will never remember what you say. They never remember what you say, but they'll always remember how you made them feel. There's people that you guys went to high school with that you just still to this day, if their name came up, you'd be like, yeah, don't like him, don't like her. You don't know what they told you in high school. You just remembered how they made you feel, and it wasn't great. And that feeling will never leave you. So if people don't remember what we say, but they remember how we make them feel, shouldn't we focus our entire call on making them feel confident, making them feel hopeful, making them feel inspired, making them feel like they can really do this? Like, isn't that super important?